What I'm going to show you now is how to create a semantic search page. So I have a couple of semantic pages here, the Semantics and Explorer. I'll just show you quickly what they do. First of all, this uses the SPARQL bar widget, which enables you to search for different subjects. So here you see a list of RDF types that I've got configured in the database at the moment. This is fairly limited at the moment. There's just FOF, people and organisations, there's places, MLJS documents, and a set of Open Calais ones, as well as a test movie one as well. In future versions next month you'll be able to plug in your own. I'm currently talking to one of our semantics experts to figure out the best way of doing that. But at the moment it's kind of hard coded, but you can add as many of these different child elements as you like, but I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to search for people who know other people. So these are people who have actually got friends. So here you see that goes and executes a SPARQL search and pulls back a list of subjects of type person, which is what we asked for. And if we click on those, that will produce a more fine-grained SPARQL query, which just looks up the information on one subject, and you see that show up in this entity facts window. You also see the tweets that they're mentioned in, either they've sent or people have sent to them, and you see the other people that are mentioned. So these two people are ones that we know send tweets to other people we've got, and these are just tweet IDs that we don't know anything about, and we see that they've sent 3 messages. One thing to mention about the entity facts widget is if that's used instead of combination with SPARQL search, you can also use it in combination with content search, so it can become an info box. So effectively, where you've got a content search, the top result can be used to inform the entity facts widget. And by this what I mean is any links to that MLJS document, any subjects that are mentioned within it. So if document mentions a list of subjects, then those subjects and all their facts will be shown in the info box or entity facts widget next to the content search. So it's a very, very useful widget to know about. But of course it does show you just items on one subject. Sometimes it's useful to see how that subject relates to others, so we want to see how many people that they actually talk to. So if we click on that, we go to the Explorer page, and this is an example of using the page context, passing URL parameters between pages. And here we see we've passed in the IRI of the subject we want to concentrate on. So we see again the same list of facts, what their tweets are mentioned in, people they know, their name, and how many they've sent. And we can click on the individual tweets. What that does, quite interestingly, that's linked to a MLJS document. And this particular Graph Explorer widget will show you what's in the triple store, which is the mentions and the URI. But what it will also show you is it will look at that document, take the document URI, and go and execute a search just for that document URI, which enables you to view these facets. So these are content facets shown alongside triples on the same subject. So it's a very interesting way to go and mix the content world and the semantic world without having to duplicate information. If I click on this one here, so this is somebody else that this person knows, we see that again they're mentioned in several tweets and they know many, many people. And we see that they've sent 6 messages, so we see that they're even more interesting, and we can click on through and just keep clicking and clicking and clicking to our heart's content. Here we see another tweet mentioned, and we see particularly that this one has actually been translated. So it's been taken as a Portuguese-based tweet originally, and we see what feed it comes from, who's been participating in it as well. And we can go with that to our heart's content. But the question is, how do we actually go and create these 2 pages? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to configure my app. I'm going to get rid of the semantics page and get rid of the Explorer page and create them from scratch. So I'm going to call the first one semantics. If I go in and configure this one, again you have to provide a URL that starts with a slash and ends with .html5. For this particular one I'm going to use a thick then a thin column. And on the left hand side I'm going to show my semantic SPARQL bar. If I can find it, the semantic search bar, there we go. Drop that on. Not quite sure why that's there, I've just been ticking it out of habit. Semantic search results immediately below. We'll see we can also link that to content searches as well, but I'm not going to do that for this particular one. And then on the right hand side, I want to see semantic subject facts. So I could probably do renaming that. It's a bit of a dubious name. It's entity facts, really. And what we're going to do here is this: how you click through to another URL. So I'm going to link to explorer.html5 !iri equals and then hash iri hash. So this particular widget knows to replace the iri of the clicked on of the link with the iri of the subject, and this parameter is picked up on the other page by the page context object, which lies underneath every workplace page. So that has default mappings to take information passed on a query string into the page. Effectively what it does is it overrides settings within the context objects. This particular one will override the semantic context to look up that particular subject. So that's those configured. What I want to do now is add a context. This time we're going to add a semantic context because, well, they're semantic widgets. So link them all together again, and we're replacing any selected content, page size 10. I'm not going to do anything on initial load, so if I just save that one, I'm going to create the other page first before I go on so we can see it all in one go. So create the Explorer, go in, again, got to set that URL. Now we called it explorer.html5 in the link, so we better duplicate that. I'm going to use the entire screen. So by doing that I create a column layout and I just drag one widget on. So this is the Graph Explorer widget. No configuration for that widget. But what it does need is a search context, a semantic context, and a document context. Depending on what operation it's doing, it will need all of these. So I'm going to register. You spotted a little bug there, that should just say Graph Explorer. So I'm just going to register the Graph Explorer with each one of those, hit save. Just go in and double check that, because that looked a bit dubious to me. Yeah, so Graph Explorer mentioned a couple of times there, which is interesting. So hit save. Okay, let's go and try that out. So I go to my semantics page, search for people, loads people. Again, you see the same results. So you can then click on that and view the other people. So they're all linked together using the same semantic context. Clicking on that link will again load information, and that, because we've got a document context and a search context linked to this widget along with the semantic context, I can look up all information about that person and their tweets and all tweets of other people that they know as well. So a very, very powerful way of creating a semantic application. This Explorer widget will tolerate ontologies it doesn't know about. So for example, there will be other people they know. So I think one of these, yeah, unknown RDF type, it's just a subject that we don't know much about, we just know that they know other people. So as you can see, that links through and still works. So it's tolerant of facts it doesn't know, so you can still do a basic semantic demo even before you plug in new ontologies to the SPARQL query widget, and that will be coming up soon in the next month's release. But hopefully that's shown you the power of semantics in MLJS 7 and how easy it is to build a page using the Workplace widget. Hope you enjoy it.